right, begin.
What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys woke up happy and healthy this morning. That's the most important thing. So before we go any further, I'm going to ask you guys a favor, if you don't mind hitting that like button and also smashing that share button so we can push this video through the algorithm and hopefully get this channel to where it needs to be. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and dive face first into the drama. And I want to talk about this Wendy Williams situation real quick. So guys, allegedly Nick Cannon behind the scenes is in talks of taking over the Wendy Williams time slot if Wendy's health doesn't improve. So here's the thing, Debmar Mercury is responsible for the Wendy Williams show, am I right? Correct. And basically they're sick of just all of the setbacks that have accumulated over the past 4 or 5 years. And so when you look at the dynamics of the situation, they feel that it's time to move on. Like I said in my previous video, it's mighty strange that they haven't renewed Wendy for 2 to 3 seasons. They would have already done it by now. But I don't believe that they have faith in Wendy and that Wendy could carry on in the mental state and in the physical state that she's presently in. Now, I've been on record stating that this could be the best thing to happen to Wendy, right? She has enough money. She could just move on with her life and just prioritize her health, right? Because that's the most important thing. That's what I tell you guys before I start the video. I hope that you wake up happy and healthy, right? Because health is wealth. Now get this, about a week or so ago, I reported that Wendy was caught out in those New York streets vaping and smoking e-cigs after she had been discharged from the hospital. And as an employer, it's not a good look for them to see you out there smoking and vaping, right? After you've been discharged from the hospital. Smoking and vaping is not healthy, and that's what you choose to do as soon as you're released from the hospital. Then on top of that, you're having to push back the premiere of season 13 due to your health issues. Well, smoking and vaping is not steering your health in the right direction. And in my opinion, Wendy should have been quietly recovering at home. But anywho, Nick Cannon's new syndicated talk show, which premiered this past September the 27th on a local Fox affiliate, really impressed Debmar Mercury. Now, Debmar Mercury are responsible for producing the Nick Cannon show as well. And so per insider, they really want to see the Nick Cannon show be a huge success. Now, like I said, the show execs of the Wendy Williams show have been talking about a backup plan, right? And they hope that Wendy can recover, because I really think they want Wendy to return to the show. But it's not a far stretch from the imagination that Nick could take her time slot from her, because he already has a major platform and he has a huge fan base. So it's an easy win. Now get this, the Nick Cannon show and the Wendy Williams show are both syndicated. Now, individual station groups will have to decide to replace the Wendy Williams show with the Nick Cannon show. Now, that would be a station to station decision, but it's likely that they will make a deal if Wendy cannot return on October the 18th. Now, another thing that took place was the fact that last Thursday, a bunch of eager fans showed up to the Chelsea studios thinking that Wendy Williams was going to film the episode of her show, right? But a crew member came out and told those fans that Wendy Williams would not be appearing and that the episode had been canceled. And so reportedly, the network bosses had a strong, stern talk with Wendy, and they stated to her that she's messing up millions of revenue. Now, let me say this. Wendy is very unprofessional in my opinion when it comes to this. If you have fans to show up and you know that you canceled last minute saying, hey, I can't do this. I can't do the show. I'm not mentally or physically ready. You should have put out a short video, right? Detailing to your fans that you care about them, that you appreciate them for showing up, and that you're sorry that you couldn't make it. It's so unprofessional not to show up and just say nothing. You know? Where's the moral compass in that? I don't get it. But at this point, the only thing that I can say is 3 words. Pray for Wendy. Pray for Wendy. Now, let's move along to the next story. Now, I want to talk about this briefly because you had some interesting comments coming from news commentator for ESPN, Steele, who made some disparaging remarks, in my opinion, in regards to Barack Obama and the fact that Barack listed himself as a brother. Now, Steele has always been the focal point of controversy, correct? Now, to be perfectly honest, Steele has that type of mentality, that same ideology of a Candace Owens and also of a Stacey Dash. Now, before we go any further, I believe it's worth noting that Sage has an African-American father and her mom is half Irish and half Italian. So This will explain where she gets some of her ideology from, but in no way, shape, or form does it excuse her ignorance. Now, Sage was on the Jay Cutler podcast. For those of you who don't know who Jay Cutler is, he basically was an NFL player who made millions but didn't achieve anything on the field, in my opinion. But anyway, this is what Sage had to say in regards to Obama identifying himself as a brother.
When you fill out your census, I'm like, well, I don't know when the last time I filled out my census was, but if they make you choose a race, she's like, what are you going to put? I go, well, both. She's like, well, you can't. She goes, well, what if Barack Obama chose black and he's biracial? I'm like, well, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I go, I think that's fascinating considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you. I'm going to do me.
Alright, so you guys heard what Sage had to say, and basically she said that she found it fascinating that Obama would list himself as a brother when his father was nowhere in the picture. So I believe that Sage is thinking along the lines like, your father didn't have anything to do with your upbringing, so why would you list yourself as such? Now, if I'm being honest, y'all, I'm about sick of Sage Steele. Over the years, she's been nothing more and nothing less but a puppet, right? And so this is the thing, she has nothing good to say about people that have the same hue as I do. Now, I want to make this clear. I don't have a problem with Sage saying that she wanted to list herself as both, being that she has two parents that comes from two different ethnic backgrounds. I get that totally. She has that right. But Obama has the right to list himself as a brother, so mind your business. Now, with that said, I do acknowledge the fact that there's a problem within our community where the father is not in the home, and more than often, it leads our kids astray. They basically hit the streets and they start to fend for themselves. I do get that entirely. So let's not act as if you can't have both parents in the home and that child still becomes unsuccessful at life. It happens all the time. And especially when you're dealing with the kids of today, you know, they form their own opinion of how they want to live their lives, right? They have their own mind. So are you going to blame the parents that are in the home with the child and basically that child ends up failing for bad parenting? Or are you going to take a step back and look at the child and say maybe that child has chosen to go down the wrong path? Just because you have two parents or one parent in the home doesn't mean that that parent or parents are not giving their children the necessary tools to exceed in life. And in my estimation, Obama is a clear example that two women or just one woman can raise a man. Because look at Obama, right? I'm pretty sure there was a collective effort. There were men around and things like that in his life, maybe uncles, maybe a teacher. You know, somebody was a male figure in his life, but two women raised that man. So we need to stop with that narrative that a woman cannot raise a man, because it can be done. Now, I previously stated that it's ideal to have the mother and the father in the home. I get that. That is what you want. But just because Obama was raised by his mother and his grandmother doesn't mean that Obama had to list himself as the ethnic background of his mother and his grandmother. No, Obama formed his own opinion, right? And I'm pretty sure that he had a political vision behind it as well, right? And he achieved that political vision by becoming the first brown president, right? So basically, I just think it was deplorable behavior on the part of Sage Steele to get onto that platform and spew that type of hateful and divisive rhetoric. It just has no place in society today. And I think that ESPN needs to let her go. I mean, if you're going to let Jemele Hill go because she spoke out against 45 and she uplifted Colin Kaepernick, why not let Sage go? Because she had the audacity to question a man who listed himself as a brother. Like it's something wrong with that. That's the problem for me. But anyway, I'm going to let this go and let y'all have that in the comments. Drop down and let me know what you think about this entire situation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll get with you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.